Of course. You had a kid out of wedlock?
Oh my God!
Oh my God, chill out, bro.
I'm just trying to say God would approve.
This nigga said a wedlock.
You want to know what though?
I'm just trying to say
wedlock.
I just want to know if God would approve.
No, it's definitely out of wedlock. It's definitely out of wedlock. You know,
Holy.
any sinners in the Bible, it's nothing that you can condemn me for. Just like you have, you know,
Alright, you gotta get
problems with yourself that are sins as well.
Alright, you gotta go right. You gotta go right.
You gotta go right. No, I'm here now. You left me online, right?
No, we got
No. You want to talk about my sins or talk about yours? Obesity. Polluting, baby. Indulging in too much of that.
Yo, chill.
As men, at one point or another in our lives, we have all gotten out of our body and we have gotten emotional with either another dude or in most cases another female. But what I saw, not only in this clip, but on that episode, was purely beta male fuckboy activity. Now, DJ Akademiks, he is a famous blogger and entertainment personality, and he got a lot going on for himself. But one thing I've noticed about this dude, he really displays tendencies of some true beta male simp mangina bullshit. Now, recently, DJ Akademiks was a guest on the Fresh and Fit podcast. And although I don't watch their show and I'm not subscribed to Fresh and Fit, DJ Akademiks displayed true beta male simp mangina energies. He went back and forth with this woman on there who claimed to be a quote-unquote Christian, but she acted like a pure typical thought. And the conversation kind of went left when DJ Akademiks had to make a smart diss by insisting that she had a child out of wedlock. Now the girl was getting antsy and she had to leave and stuff like that. And this is why I gotta say this about Fresh and Fit. They need to control their platform a little bit better. When you got females on there acting up and being rude and disrespectful, you need to get them the fuck. So after DJ Akademiks says that this girl had a child out of wedlock, she then counterattacks his remark by saying that since you want to talk about me, let's talk about you. You're committing a sin that's in the Bible. You're gluttonous. You're fat. You're drinking alcohol. You're drinking the devil's piss. Because we all know DJ Akademiks like to sip on that Henny. And you can tell by her talking about his physical appearance that DJ Akademiks was absolutely triggered by that. Was she triggered by the fact he called out about her being having a bastard child? Yeah. But guess what, brothers? We all should know, and we all should be fully aware that women by nature are emotional. Women by nature typically cannot handle the true reality of what they got facing when it's presented in front of them. They like to run away from reality. They like to live in a bubble or fantasy world. So when you hit them with the truth, you know they gonna act and respond a certain way. The reason why I say what DJ Akademiks did on that show is beta male fuckboy activity is because he responded not only with the same emotional outburst that she displayed, but he took it a step higher by insisting that she was a bitch and that he could get her touch if he really wanted to.
What I'll tell you is this, like, if I was offended by anything you said, that, yo, I get a break beat off your head. I get a bitch beat the brakes off your head. Stop playing with me.
Oh, please do.
Stop playing with me. Yo, that's not holy. That's not holy. Stop playing with me. That's not holy. That's not holy.
I listen in the name of God. I'm a
That's not holy. That's not holy now.
In the name of God.
Yo, kinda.
This is why they request people to watch the show before coming on here.
As a man, you don't never threaten another female by insisting you can get other females to beat her up. You don't even provoke any types of violence against another woman. Now granted, if a woman ever puts her hands on you, you do everything in your power to defend yourself, but you don't initiate or threaten any woman with any acts of violence. That's pure beta male fuckboy activity right there. Men, we don't do that. We don't go to the left on a female when she acting out of her element. We have to learn how to respond with logic. reasoning, sound judgment, using basic common sense. And that is something a lot of us men out here in this modern society have failed to utilize. We do not use proper sound judgment. Soon as somebody yapping out at the mouth at us, we gotta respond right back with yapping out at the mouth. Ain't the old statement,
sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words will never break me?
Or that's just an African proverb that we don't think means nothing anymore in 2022. Now granted, some words can be outright rude, disrespectful, or harmful. But just because this female acting up and acting an ass, don't mean you gotta do the same thing. DJ Akademiks, you're a famous social media personality. You have more to lose than she does. She may be an IG star, but you're well more recognized and you have way more money and status than she does. And another thing I notice, homie, you don't know how to control your liquors. Every time you get on that Henny, you get into your fifis. You want to turn up and all that. But one thing I also noticed, you typically do that with females. I don't see you have that same energy for dudes. You may talk about guys on your podcast, or you may talk about them on your IG and all that. But you don't talk to dudes like that face to face. If a man has a problem with another man, you confront that man face on. You confront that man face to face and you speak your mind to that other man. But you don't do that. You do that typically around women. That's how I know that's some weak nigga shit. Cause a man ain't gonna do that for no woman. We don't let women get us out of our element. I'd be damned if I allow anyone to disrupt or disrespect my establishment or disrupt my podcast or my show simply because they don't know how to act. They start acting up, they gone. But DJ Akademiks, what you and what many other beta males do, soon as a woman start yapping at the mouth, you get triggered and alarmed, and you gotta get emotional and get hostile right along with it. Alpha kings don't do that. We ignore females like that. And maybe you should learn that as well. But since you don't, and since you feel you gotta turn up on a female, don't be surprised if one day one of these females really physically attack you. And when they do, I won't have no sympathy nor mercy for you.
Shorty, I was trying to dismiss you because you're a broke ass bitch who ain't get a babysitter who talking about you gotta go home and get nigga, go home till little nigga ain't gonna handle your business, nigga. Go ahead, handle your business, nigga.
So after he threatened her to get some females on her, he really felt threatened. Now he began to stand up, calling her B-I-T-C-H and yapping up at the mouth. And he probably said something to her that made her want to, turn up even more. But it goes to show that when men respond to women emotionally, we've already lost the argument. Men, we have to keep in mind, you're rarely going to ever defeat a woman in an argument. You're rarely ever going to defeat a woman. Women, by nature, are designed to deal with arguments. That's why they like drama. That's why they deal with toxic men. A majority of them, when you go the same route as their woman is going, you're losing your true masculine essence. You're responding in a way that they want you to respond. As a man, you don't give women that type of power. You don't stoop down to that level. You maintain your alpha essence. You maintain your pure masculinity. You remain cool, calm, and collected. And guess what? When a person is arguing with you, and when they know and they can see that they can't even, run off at the mouth at you no more because you're basically ignoring them, then they look foolish for continuing on yapping at the mouth in the first place. But when we as men start going back and forth with these women, getting all yelled at, you lost all your cool. Your body starts to your blood pressure starts to rise up. You start to build that adrenaline. Your mental capacity isn't thinking clearly. This is why we should never act like no beta male. See your We are men. We study and follow by the rules, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Alhamdulillah. We do not respond instinctively in the manner in which women respond. If a woman want to turn up and act a fool and yap all that at the mouth and get out of her element, let her. You walk past her, you completely ignore her, or you tell her to get the fuck up out of here. But when you stoop down to that level, you deserve all the treatment you get. And then you went on your show the next day to try to play the victim. Nah, I ain't had no sympathy for you on the show, and I ain't got no sympathy for you now. Because that's the problem as men. We're continuing to respond and react and get all in our feelings. Men ain't supposed to be all in their feelings. Anytime a man tell me, well, I feel this, I look at you like you're dumb. Because as men, we don't feel. We think and we know, and then we act on what we know. Maybe some of you fuck boys need to start instituting that type of activity in your life. Because maybe then you will have better rapport with women.
Okay. I said move to the left. Yo, nigga, I said move to the left. Now. Alright. You stupid. What the fuck you doing? Move to the left. This is the right left. Everybody gets to the fucking left. If bullets come down this way, I ain't getting nobody fucking hurt.
I'm gonna destroy that.
And finally, after all that is said and done, this chick allegedly pulls a gun out while Myron was trying to get her out of the studio. And then he had to tell them to move to the left side of the wall just in case she did start a cap. You know why all of that occurred? All of that occurred because of one man couldn't control his emotions. Because one man decided that he couldn't handle his liquor for one, which you really need to stop doing. He got triggered for two because she said something that was obviously true. And then you felt some kind of way when she stood up for herself. The reason why I'm using DJ Akademiks for this video is because that is one prime example of what is wrong with men in 2022. One thing that's wrong with us as men, we're acting like males, but we have the mindset of a lot of women. And the reason why we have the mindsets of women is because many of us was raised primarily by women. When you develop tendencies and mindsets that are more feminine than masculine, then you see episodes of this. We see it all throughout the internet. Men crying, men complaining, men arguing, men bitching, men don't know how to control themselves, men that kill another man over a woman. Men don't want to kill that woman or seriously hurt or harm that woman because she said something. I'd be lying to you if I came on here and said I never did none of that. I have, and I learned my lesson from it. And I can tell you, about a couple years ago, I nearly got to that point. But I had to defend myself. Shorty pointed a finger in my face. I grabbed the wrist and told her, if you do it again, I'll kill you. And I got her out of my car before that situation got worse. But I was still wrong because I allowed it to get to that point. I kept going back and forth with the woman. And that is something we as men have to stop doing. I recently put out a video called Going Back and Forth with a Woman is a Waste of Time. It really is. Because it only exposes how weak-minded many of us men really are. We need to get rid of that beta male simp mangina mentality. We on some fuckboy activity bullshit. And we wonder why women, especially our women, don't give us any respect. The reason they don't give us any respect, we don't respect ourselves. So the next time anybody has this type of occurrence happening, or you in this type of situation, man, practice those 3 C's. Cool, calm, and collective. Let her talk. Ignore her. And then she keep talking. Either you leave, and if it's your spot, you get her the fuck up out of there. And if she don't want to leave, you handle it accordingly. But you do it the way a man is supposed to diffuse that type of toxic situation. Not going back and forth, get running off at the mouth, and then nearly getting into a fight. That ain't man like that at all. That's bitch boy activity. And we don't rock like that over here. In 2022, it's time for alpha kings to rise. It's time to be instilling true masculinity, not only in ourselves as men, but we need to be the influence and the prime example so that our youngest can learn. Otherwise, our women gonna have more masculine tendencies. They gonna continue to think they men, and more of these men that's gonna be weak as hell and stupid as fuck, simply because they think from the heart instead of using their mind to make reasonable judgments and wise decisions. I'm out.